know what? Now's the time I should have said. I can't believe Muncher sounds like Olaf, huh? I'm clever.
It's not funny the second time, though.
It's not funny, no.
I know to the audience it's the first time, but to us.
Yeah.
But it's not funny
like
for them either. Don't worry, it wasn't funny
the
either.
17th time he said it. I know he thought he was live and he kept saying it.
It wasn't funny
We know
both
you
times.
said, remember when you said that thing?
Remember, we're gonna say that a lot because remember Geeks with Kids? It's the bi-weekly geeky podcast from the parenting point of view. I'm your
That's a
host,
good intro.
Eric. Yeah, see? Finally, one good times. Joining me this week is Dave and Brent. How's it going, guys? We have a small cast today, which is, it's fine.
Triplets is what we have.
Yeah. I should have just put our faces like giant on our stream, just fill up the whole width.
You still can.
Yeah, no, I don't really want to do that because that
If my
takes
face is blown up, I want it to be blown up like in scanners.
Mm.
Lamb chunks.
Yes. Oh, I just noticed that you have is that a wooden D20 on your wall?
Yeah, I got that at the EGLX we met up at
Oh, nice.
in 2019. Yeah, I bought one for me and I bought one for my best friend. I think I kept the lighter color. I think mine is oak and his is walnut.
Is it thick or is it thin?
It's thick. Do you want me to grab it?
Yeah, please.
All right.
I like art. I've been moving along.
How thick is it? Do you need both hands to grab it?
It's funny when he can't hear it.
It's thick.
Oh, damn! It's actually like a full.
Yeah, it's thicker than my hand.
Damn! That's all. That's nice.
Yeah, it's solid.
Oh my god, it's bigger than his hand.
We
You
just
can order this. I'll try. Well, it'll be backwards on stream, won't it? But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but yeah, we'll put it in the show notes. Anyway, it doesn't matter for people who listen to us, just audibly.
Sure.
So that's cool. Anyways, welcome to Geeks with Kids. We're talking about Ghostbusters Afterlife because it just came out a couple days ago, and we have a lot to say because the room is varied on our opinions of it. Anyways, like we do every week, we're gonna start off with what we're liking. What's good? What's good, Brent? What is good? What's your yum this week?
My number one yum is finally getting myself I've been calling it my ghetto setup, but isn't considering that I have my laptop.
It's a good setup, man.
Well, I know, but right now my laptop is propped up on a cardboard box and my webcam is propped up on a box of Triscuits.
You know how many streamers started like that? Like all of them.
Out of all the crackers you could choose as like a foundation for something, Triscuits are probably the best.
It's true.
I also the back leg is on a box of Wheat Thins.
Wheat Thins are all right.
Well, that's if you need like a thin shim, right? That's what a Wheat Thin is for.
You just want to level it out there. Yeah, I understand. Well, you got a new setup, man. It's really good. Like you have.
I do.
Mostly Elgato
Thank you
stuff,
for the
right?
recommendation. I love my pretty new microphone.
I like that mic.
My ring light, making my baldness even more apparent.
What are you talking about? You're just shining. You're just trying to be like Jean-Luc Picard. That's cool.
What's wrong? Listen, Patrick Stewart. My mom told me when I was a kid, even that Patrick Stewart made bald sexy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's true.
I'm not Patrick Stewart.
Gunny.
I think it's the English accent.
He was Gunny, right?
He's a very, very specific voice. It helps.
He played Gunny, right?
He played Gurney Halleck.
Gurney.
Yeah.
Why did I say Gunny? I don't know why.
You think of Arlie Ermey.
I'm very tired right now.
Tired?
My kid has been sick. She had a fever, so last night we were up till God knows how long.
And you didn't give her enough cowbell. That's the only answer.
I know. That's the issue. Yeah. So you have your new stream set up, and you've been streaming a lot lately.
And I switched from Streamlabs to Stream Elements and OBS Live last night
because Slobs is garbage.
I was up until about 5:36 in the morning, getting all of my scenes ready, getting all the music put into it. I spent all afternoon getting it all set up, and then I go live, and the internet shit the bed. And I'm getting a 65% frame drops, and I'm like,
it's so weird. Like even like we have pretty good, generally good internet, but every once in a while, Roger's like, nope, fuck you, you don't get to stream today, and I'm like, cool, thank you.
Yeah,
I'm glad I'm paying this much.
Source cable, the wonderful Source cable.
Is that like the Radio Shack?
One of those cables. No, it's like one of those cable companies that's like only for like my block and maybe the block next to us.
Ah, yes,
like,
that's wonderful.
Yeah, it's Jerry's cable.
It's weird that you guys are in a contract too. I never knew that internet people had like long contracts. was weird.
It's a retirement community. Everything in here is on contract. And everything is like, they make you do everything for 10 years because they just assume that everybody that lives here isn't going to last that long. So make them pay for it now.
Oh, that's terrible. And then what do they need internet for, right? They need it for their newspapers and their...
Well, they want to Skype with their grandkids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might as well gouge them if they want to Skype and look nice, right?
But yeah, I got all
Now I'm
this
sad.
set up. And hopefully it'll start working again, and then I can continue going with my other yums, which have been 2 of what I call the hidden gems this year that I kind of put off for a while, and now that I'm playing have become 2 of my favorite games of the year, hands down, which is Grime and The Artful Escape. And thank you for recommending The Artful Escape to me, because god damn if there's not such a better game to just
Chill out.
lose yourself in, like just fade into the couch and lose yourself to it.
Right. It's wonderful. Press X, my friend. Press X to rock
Have you
out.
played Journey already? Have you played Journey
Yes.
before? Okay.
Yeah.
And Flower.
I played they had that on PS Plus like right when I got the PlayStation 4, so, and I had no game, so it was like I wanted to play everything at that time. So yeah, I played through Journey. It reminded me a lot of that, just very mellow. It's just all about the experience. It's not about the gameplay necessarily.
Yeah.
Whereas Grime is the opposite. Grime is all about the gameplay, beautiful visuals, like very, very tough battles in it, but just absolutely like wonderful little storyline, wonderful experience so far.
And it's a Metroidvania, the Grime one.
Yes.
Whereas Artful Escape is a side-scrolling adventure, I guess.
Yeah, Artful Escape is basically ecstasy as a video game.
It's by Annapurna Interactive, if that gives you guys any thought of what kind of game it is. Those games are generally very arty and good. They also released 12 Minutes this year and Maquette, which was a great free PlayStation game they released.
They're killing it.
Yeah.
And Artful Escape is up for Best Indie Game of the Year.
Through who?
Through the Game Awards.
Oh, the Game Awards? Okay, cool.
Nominees came out 3 days ago. Something like that, Friday.
Yeah, it's up for Best Indie.
Back for Blood was nominated for Best Co-op Game, I think.
Yeah,
I think that's
like
it.
Well, maybe we'll talk about it in the news as I pull it up as we go over to Dave. What is your good?
What's good this week? Could be Halo. Could be Halo.
Could be.
It's not going to be Halo.
Is it Battlefield 2042?
Haven't played it. Don't have it. Don't have it on PC. I
You-
said a bunch
You
of
have
my
Game
friends
Pass,
bought
don't you?
No, I don't have Game
Oh,
Pass.
okay. I thought you.
bought Back 4 Blood, man. I paid full price. Now it's 30% off. So if you want to play Back for Blood, 30% off right now. It's like on every platform. You can buy the season pass edition for like 70 Canadian, and it's like an $80 game Canadian normally.
Does
Sounds
Harcroft
great.
play like Battlefield and Battlefront and all those type? No, he doesn't.
play-
Damn.
He doesn't. He doesn't play. Like he wouldn't even play Halo with us. I talked to him.
That's true.
It's my brother. I talked to him for like 4 hours last night. I was like, "You play Halo with us?" And he was like, "Nah, I don't think so. He'll play co-op, but he won't play multiplayer."
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
But no, I watched season 1 and 2 of Taskmaster finally.
Ooh.
And I have watched a lot of clips and even like random episodes. I watched season 11 first, actually, and then I went, I should start from the beginning because I'd seen most of the tasks already. God, Taskmaster is so good. You can actually just watch it on YouTube. They have a YouTube channel, Taskmaster. You can just watch, I think, series 1 through 10 right now. Like, totally, it's not pirated or anything. They put it up, or you can just watch clips. It's so funny. Like, I watch half of those people on, like, 8 out of 10 Cats, and 8 out of 10 Cats does Countdown, and never mind the Buzzcocks and whatever other British panel show. Taskmaster's so good.
Yeah.
Like, I was just, like, in stitches for, I don't know how many hours that was, like 11 hours.
Yeah, I do like that show. I got onto the show a number of years ago. I can't even remember why, but
In 2016, I think, is when it started.
that's
And I'm like,
that
how
was
did
like
I not
5
know
years
about
ago.
this?
Yeah.
Yeah, how did I not know about this earlier?
Hmm.
That, and I watched the first 4 episodes of Cowboy Bebop, but I think we'll probably talk about that at some point.
Sure.
So I probably won't say anything.
Yeah. I've not seen the live action one. I wanted to watch it this weekend, but this weekend was sort of a blur of craziness.
They're not short. They're long episodes.
Which is weird. The anime was 30 minutes, was it not? I remember each episode
I
not
have
being
no
that
idea.
long.
Never watched. I only watched the movie 20
Oh.
years ago.
The anime is actually on Netflix right now, so you
I
can.
know I'm planning. Well, because we haven't done the Make Dave Watch an Anime episode yet.
Oh
so-
damn! I didn't think about that. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, we should
gotta
do that.
at some point.
Pretty soon we got to talk about The Witcher and a bunch of other
So
things.
excited for The Witcher.
I do want to do an episode of our top 3 like movies, video games, TV shows of this year. Before
I gotta start thinking of that then.
before the end of the year, and then we have our table read in 2 weeks. So
Oh, yeah.
so that's gonna be fun. We'll
Only good. Not a lot of episodes left this year.
nope 2
Wow.
or 1. Maybe we'll do the list next time, and then we'll record the table read off like randomly, and then I'll put it
Yeah, I think
throughout
you
the
said you wanted to
holiday.
record that offline anyway. So
Yeah, I can do either. It doesn't matter. It's a video. Anyway, so what's my good? It could be Halo. It could be Far Cry 6, which I just finished. Which well, no, I haven't finished. I'm right at the end of, but it's not. That's hard. Far
Oh,
Cry
you're
6.
gonna get one of those emails that says you're too much of a coward to finish Far Cry 6.
Yeah, well, I only have a couple more days left on my Ubisoft Plus membership. I did a month so that I could beat that game. They released the first DLC for it, where you play the bad guy from Far Cry 3.
Boss, yeah.
Yeah,
us?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
It's cool. You go into the mind of him, and then you sort of like it's neat. It's a little trippy.
That's got to be a fucked up trip.
It's pretty fucked up. It's pretty cool. But my yum of the week is actually a TV show I just randomly started watching because David Mantzoukas was in it. It was a clip that I saw online. I was like, "What show is this?" No, it's a show called I'm Sorry.
Oh, wait, do you mean Jason
Oh.
Mantzoukas?
Yeah, Jason Mantzoukas.
I think you said
You
David
said-
Mantzoukas. Yeah.
Did I say David Mantzoukas?
Yeah.
Where
Maybe I was probably looking at
looking at-
you.
You were looking at me.
Jason Mantzoukas. Anyway, David. Oh God, I said it again. So it has Jason Mantzoukas. Anyway, but
I've heard of this one.
yeah, this TV show is called I'm Sorry. It's on True. I don't know what that is in Canada, but it stars Andrea Savage.
It sometimes comes up on like TNT here.
Oh, I don't have cable, so I don't know.
I don't either,
Tom
but-
Everett Scott. I don't know if you remember. What was he in? He was in that musical movie.
I have seen this.
That thing
I
you
watched
do.
the first season of it. It was like she's like a female Larry David in it.
Yeah, sort of.
Like
yeah.
It reminded me. It was very reminiscent of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
She's hilarious. It's a seemingly confident comedy writer, wife, and mom comically exposes her inner immaturity and neuroses through unexpected life situations. It's very funny. Andrea Savage is very funny. I remember her from, was it Extras? I think she was on. She was also on iZombie for a little bit. And not Extras, Episodes. I always mix up those two shows. Yeah. So, and she was on Veep as well. She played Laura Montez. Anyway, it's very funny. Very, very funny. I highly recommend if you can find it.
Yeah, I watched the first season of it last year. I thought it was fantastic.
They got a second season, and then they got renewed for a third season. COVID happened, and then the network canceled them because COVID. And they're just like, we don't want to spend money anymore. And we're like, and she's like, I'm sorry. That sucks. Anyways, let's I didn't have any news written down, but I guess I have news now because I just pulled up all the nominations for the Game Awards.
This is the first year I've played all of them except for Psychonauts 2.
Oh, so Game of the Year, we have Deathloop, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village. I haven't played Resident Evil Village.
I haven't played any of those games.
You didn't? Yep, that's fair.
Most of them are like PS5.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
you didn't play Ratchet & Clank? Oh,
have a
yeah,
PS5.
yeah, PS5.
I think a lot of people didn't play Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, that's fair.
You should get one. They're fun.
Cool.
They're hard to find. You know what? I went to Costco the other day and they had the peg for it, none of the papers, but they had a shit ton of DualSense controllers. So I was like,
There's
oh,
supposed to be a restock coming right before Christmas.
Yeah.
So I still probably won't buy one though.
yeah,
'Cause it's just not worth it for me.
oh, that's fair. You have a good PC and stuff. Like the exclusives are very limited right now for the PS5. Ratchet and
I
Clank.
also don't have a 4K TV
I don't either.
or an HDR TV, so
Yeah. Well, I might get one. There, I saw one for $400 at Best Buy for Black Friday. So I'm like,
what brand was it?
Hisense, I think. which is all right.
No. Don't get that. Don't get a Hisense.
It's all right.
No, I bought a Hisense. It lasted probably about 8 months before everything started cocking out on it.
Weird.
And even if that doesn't happen, what it'll probably mean is it'll be a lot dimmer because they'll use like cheaper things. So it'll just be a darker screen.
Most of the cheaper like 4 to 700 that they've brought down to are all LCD or LED OLED ones or LED 4Ks instead of the OLED ones. So I understand where the difference is. Plus, I used to calibrate TVs for a living, so I won't have an issue.
Like I've got a Samsung right now. Like I bought.
There's also a Samsung for
I bought a Samsung
$700
55-inch 4K LED, and it was I think I got it for about $650. Roughly.
Yeah, I think it's 700 right now for a 55-inch or a 60-inch one.
Yeah,
which I might get.
Don't just trust me. Don't go with the Hisense. It didn't even last. Didn't even make.
I wasn't going to, but yeah, we'll see.
I
have no space right now.
It was the cheapest one, and I was like, I just wanted a better TV now, and then the thing like died almost immediately.
That's why you get the protection. No, don't get the protection. Anyway,
the lottery so I can buy a Bravia one day. You know, just like
I have one right there.
Oh,
I have a yeah. It's great because I use the PlayStation Media Remote to turn it on. It turns on my TV, my receiver, and my PS5 all at the same time, and I'm just like, cool. Thank you, Sony, for all talking. Yeah, because my receiver is Sony as well. Best narrative, we have Deathloop, It Takes Two, Life is Strange, True Colors, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, okay, and Psychonauts 2.
By all counts, Guardians of the Galaxy is really good.
Apparently, I heard that. Yeah,
because of the Avengers game that fucking ruined.
Yeah.
I've got to go for best narrative though. For me personally, I got to go It Takes Two.
I was gonna say
that was such a fun, amazing little storyline.
Yeah,
like,
I would say True Colors, Life is Strange for best narrative.
How are you gonna come on, best narrative? How are you gonna beat something where it's like it's a game about like two parents that are about to get divorced and now they're fighting wasps?
That's fair. Look at all the squirrels; they're crazy. Best art direction, we have Deathloop. Deathloop, really? Okay. Kenna Bridge of Spirits.
They needed a game to really get behind this year, and apparently
they probably wanted to put an FPS in there specifically.
Oh, fair.
Right?
So Kenna Bridge of Spirits, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which I would agree, and The Artful Escape, which I really agree. Best score music, we have Cyberpunk 2077. Okay, the music was.
Score for it's good.
Was it? It was not memorable for me. Deathloop, Near Replicant version 1.224. I'm not gonna read that number. It's too long. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy and The Artful Escape. Artful Escape,
100%.
Yeah. Best audio design, Deathloop, Forza Horizon 5. That is actually really good. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart was also very good. Resident Evil Village and Returnal. Returnal had really good audio. Like the sound was phenomenal.
Especially since Returnal being a PlayStation exclusive, right? With all the
3D audio.
But didn't Mark Cerny do a whole thing? He did a whole talk on just the audio for the PS5 being way better than any other console on most computers.
Yeah, he did. And Returnal was really good, even with just the surround sound instead of the headsets, but the headset added a lot more. Best performance, this is voice acting best performance. Erik Amori for Life is Strange, Giancarlo Esposito for Far Cry 6, Jason E. Kelly for Deathloop, Maggie Robinson for Resident Evil Village, Ozioma Akaga for Deathloop.
Character?
I get, yeah. No, it just says awarded to an individual for voiceover acting, motion, and or performance capture.
She was the female assassin in the game. I can't remember.
Oh, okay. I have
Jason Kelly plays. He played Cole in it, and he's up for the other one. So.
I guess Far Cry. Giancarlo Esposito.
I love that this is just another FPS. What should we name our protagonist? Well, nobody's used Cole for a while.
Remember Cole? That was a popular name at a time.
Was it Cole or was it Colt?
Colt.
No, probably Colt.
It's Colt.
Colt
like a gun. Like a gun.
Colt is the guy from Far Cry Blood Dragon, voiced by Michael Bain.
No, nice. Best games for impact, a thought-provoking game with pro-social meaning or message. I didn't know that was a category.
I think
Gotta
like,
fill 2 hours, man.
I think that game was it called Like a Dragon, where it was like about cancer. I think that game is like what spurned this category.
Boy,
essentially, to come into existence.
Yeah, that makes sense. This one has Before Your Eyes, which I've never heard of. Boyfriend Dungeon. Chicory, A Colorful Tale. I know that one. Life is Strange, True Colors, which will probably win. And No Longer Home. I don't know that one. Best ongoing game, Apex Legends, Call of Duty Warzone, Final Fantasy 14 Online, Fortnite, and Genshin Impact. Ooh, I don't know.
I would hope Final Fantasy wins that because I
Yeah.
don't think they fucked up this year.
Did
I
Genshin?
would hope that they would, but I'm pretty sure. I have a feeling it's going to lean towards Apex this year.
Really?
I would hope not because they
Yeah.
basically had 3 months where their game was unplayable,
Hey.
and not just for me, but for a lot of other people too.
I feel like it's one of those things where they're not going to give it to Fortnite anymore, and I don't think they want to give it to a Call of Duty game. So that's why I'm like, Apex to me seems like the logical, like, a lot of people are playing it, and it's not one of these mainstream.
I would probably. I think Final
14
Fantasy 14.
It got a huge update this year.
Yeah.
And it has DLC coming out later. And Genshin Impact, Mike, because Genshin Impact is like kind of like the new Fortnite, where it's just got like a lot of crossovers, and
Yeah.
apparently the gameplay's great. It plays like Breath of the Wild, is what people say. I don't know.
I didn't-
It's a gotcha game. It doesn't
it-
make any sense to me.
It was all right.
Who was it? Was it Steven or was it Hawk that said that they were playing that a lot?
It was Shos. Shos was just right in there. Anyway, best indie game, 12 Minutes, Death Door, Kenna, Bridge of Spirits, Inscription, Loop Hero. I'm surprised that Artful Escape's not there.
Isn't 12 Minutes also the same company?
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
Artful Escape, though?
Yeah,
Well, they probably didn't want to give it to 2.
that's fair. Best debut indie game, Kenna, Bridge of Spirits, Sable, The Artful Escape, there it is, The Forgotten City, and Valheim. Oh, Valheim, eh?
Oh, Valheim better win something because that game is good.
Best mobile game. Let's skip over this because mobile games are garbage. Best, best.
Called out.
Awards, the best esports commentators.
Is that here?
Let's
Oh my
get
God!
the
How
best
long?
team coaches.
Yeah.
I'm not
Please
gonna.
toast us, let's go.
I'm not gonna do all of these because there's so
coaches.
many. Like there's community support, best VR. I don't care. Innovation and okay, innovation and accessibility. I'm gonna say this one because that's awesome. Far Cry 6, Horizon 5, Guardians of the Galaxy, Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart, and The Veil. I think Forza is gonna win that one because they added signers in the game, like an actual person signs the whole game in the corner. Like that's damn good.
Boy, their hands tired.
Best action
How many
game.
people bought this? Oh god.
Okay, I'll read the next one. Best action game. Back for Blood, Chivalry 2, Deathloop, Far Cry 6, Returnal.
Oh, Chivalry 2. I really want to get a group to play Chivalry because I love playing those games.
I never played it.
I shit all over it in the PS5 review. I gotta go Returnal on that one.
Interesting. Action adventure game. Guardians of the Galaxy, Metroid Dread, Ratchet and Clank, Resident Evil Village, Psychonauts 2. You know what? We should maybe do a video on this maybe later one day, or maybe just right before the.
Aren't the
think we
awards
just
out
did.
this week?
Are they this week?
I'm pretty. Yeah, it's no, it's like first week of December, I think.
Yeah, it's usually December. Maybe I'll talk to them with grab a media pass, and maybe we can stream it and talk about it if people want to do that. Yeah, because really, I don't want to go through all of this. There's so many.
I love hearing my own voice.
Yeah, me too. Family game, sports, sim, multiplayer, content creator. Okay,
Best streamer.
esports athlete, esports coach, esports
All right.
event. Oh my God, there's so many.
Don't diss people who sit in a chair and play video games 12 hours a day.
No,
That
no,
is
I'm
very
not.
taxing.
I'm talking about that they broke up
I'm
esports
snorting
into
at the
these
best
many
coach. I'm
things.
snorting at the best esports coach as a game awards.
No,
category.
I'm just
Come on.
surprised there are 5 esports sections. Like that's crazy.
They need sponsorship.
don't
Not
think-
really.
I don't
They have
Yes.
enough sponsorship.
Considering like what a StarCraft pro makes in their lifetime is what somebody makes for winning one Fortnite tournament. I
Yep.
don't think like this esports community, like
That-
certain parts of the community might. One sponsor is probably enough for the Game Awards.
The last one I'm gonna mention, the last category, is most anticipated game. The 5,
Ring?
Elden Ring.
baby.
Yep.
God
What else?
of War Ragnarok.
Yes.
Yes. Breath of Wild 2.
Yes.
What else is coming out soon?
Ooh, there's two more.
Horizon
West,
Forbidden
yeah.
West?
Forbidden West, and one more.
Wow. Wow, how many of those are PlayStation exclusives? It must be an Xbox game. Is
Two
it
of them.
Infinite?
Nope.
No,
It is an Xbox exclusive, I think. It's
The other Forza game.
It's Starfield.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
See how excited we are for Starfield. A game we know literally nothing about.
Yep. Out of those 5, I want to say I'm excited for Elden Ring.
Oh, are you kidding? God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah, no, but I know that's gonna be good. I don't know what Elden Ring brings, so I'm excited about that.
Personally, I'm excited for Elden Ring. What do I think would win? I think God of War Ragnarok is
Really?
way more anticipated
than Breath of the Wild.
No, because Breath of the Wild 2 is so far off in the distance.
That's fair.
God of War we know is coming next year.
Also, Breath of the Wild might be kind of story driven. God of War has maybe the previous games weren't so much, but the 2016, 2018 has an amazing story.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
And people are literally just dying to find out what happens next because that game just basically ends on a cliffhanger.
Yep.
Not only that, but you ask any critic out there, and it is on almost every critic's game of the decade. Not just game of the year for that year, game of the decade or best game of all time.
I bought it it's a greatest hits game, and then because I've played every other God of War game, including the PSP games, and I love God of War. And I was like, this isn't, I don't know why people like this. This isn't like God of War at all. Oh, this is a really good game. Holy shit. Holy shit.
It is a damn good game. Any other?
As soon as I didn't hate the kid, I was like, they did something right.
That's true.
Yeah, because we hate kids on Geeks with Kids.
They made me not, I hate the kids that tag along in video games, and they made me not hate the kids.
Did you play The Last of Us? Did you hate Ellie?
She was whiny at times.
That's not a yes.
I did not hate Ellie, but I did like Joel better.
Yeah, well, that's fair. So apparently, what other news? There was an interview with the trilogy, the sequel trilogy, the Star Wars sequel trilogy stars recently, and there's talks that maybe their faces will return in something. Their characters will return. I know. Okay. I know. I don't care.
What did Oscar Isaac say? Because he's gonna be Moon Knight. He's gonna be Solid Snake. He's Leto Atreides. He's had a great billing since the end of his Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah.
And he was
Apocalypse. What did he? I think he said he's like, I'll go back to Star Wars for another dump truck of money or whatever it was. Right? He's like, sure, whatever.
Why not? He just likes playing in the world, and as an actor, I appreciate that. Battlefield 2042 is, I think, the worst reviewed Steam game right now. That's fun. It's
probably not deserving because the game is playable, at least. It's not.
It's playable.
Yeah, it's buggy. But it's not.
Is it getting worse than the GTA trilogy?
No.
Well, the GTA trilogy was pulled. Remember,
yeah.
So they probably can't. Even
they did pull it.
Yeah, they pulled it. They pulled it on everything.
Terrible. Anyways, let's talk about.
There's one last thing that that Activision Blizzard news that just keeps getting worse. That Bobby Kotick was fully aware basically of everything that was going on and decided to ignore it and threatened a coworker, not even a coworker, a subordinate, and did all this other. It's been all over.
He left her a voicemail in 2006
threatening that
he would kill her. And then later he was like, my
tone was wrong. I apologize for my tone. It was.
What a garbage person. God. Anyway, let's talk about Ghostbusters. This movie that came out on Friday.
Remember Friday?
So Ghostbusters Afterlife was released November 19, 2021. It is written and directed by Jason Reitman. Also written by
Ghostbusters Afterbirth.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah, I think Brent may not have liked the movie based on what he said. It was produced by Ivan Reitman. It stars Carrie Coon, Finn Wolfhard, McKenna Grace, Paul Rudd, a bunch of old Ghostbusters, and some other stuff.
Don't forget cameo. Is it a cameo? There's Annie Potts was back. That was cool.
Annie Potts was there. I count her as a Ghostbuster. She was part of the crew. It also
basically the only one who didn't return was Rick Moranis.
Yeah.
Which is
Well,
Harold Ramis didn't return.
Spoiler territory. There was another character that did not appear in the movie,
Well,
but
wait,
appeared in this credits scene.
Let's just we'll do the spoiler.
Was
We'll
it
do a
Viggo
not saying
non-spoiler.
that yet.
Carpathian?
We'll do a spoiler section after we do like a short, short review. So this
And
is
I disagree that Rick Moranis was not in this movie, but I'll get to that in a bit.
I think I know what you mean, but
I'm confused, but I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, this movie is a sequel to the 1984 and the 1989. Is that one?
89 sounds right. Yeah, that sounds right.
I was watching it earlier on Netflix.
I was too. I watched Ghostbusters
88, 89.
It's still open.
1989 Ghostbusters 2. This does not connect to Ghostbusters answer the call or whatever
Well,
the hell
that's
they
supposed
call
to be a totally separate world.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like,
Just I'm just saying it out there for the internet to say it's not connected to the answer the
Feig
call one. That was created by Paul Feig.
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 It's spelled
Feig.
the same as Kevin Feige, but they pronounce
But
it
without
differently.
because one has an E at the end.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's
Paul Feig. Yeah. Okay. Anyways,
The Kristen Wiig one.
Yeah, Chris Hemsworth, Kristen Wiig.
yes. So, IMDb has a summary for this. When a single mom and her two kids arrive in a small town, they begin to discover their connection to the original Ghostbusters and the secret legacy their grandfather left behind. So let's do it like we do normally. Our TLDR of the movie. Let's keep it to
Well,
under.
that, and then ghosts happen.
Yeah, I meant review. Like, what you thought? Like your TLDR. I'm gonna
Could
start
you
with
really quickly first for me who's only been here for a few months now. What the fuck is TLDR?
Too long didn't read, so it's a short summary, like two or three sentences. What you thought of it? Let's start with Brent because you look super happy right now.
Ghostbusters Afterlife was a fantastic movie for the first half an hour until it became a completely different movie for the next half an hour and then became a completely different movie for the last half an hour. And then I'll wait to get even more into that later.
Remember Ghostbusters, Dave? What did you think?
So I didn't pay as much attention to this movie, to be fair. But I didn't hate it, that's for sure. I thought it was fine. I think like I love Paul Rudd, so I was like, oh, Paul Rudd, like that's
I'm not about Paul Rudd.
I liked the kids. I liked all the actors that were in it. I think they all did I liked that. I didn't hate anything. It just felt like a movie. It's not a spectacular movie, is the thing. But yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. I thought it was a fun movie. It was a movie that introduced people back into that like world. I think that was the point of this movie. It was Ghostbusters via Amblin Entertainment. It felt like a 1980s Spielberg film set in the Ghostbusters realm.
It was like if Stranger Things didn't go so fucking dark.
Yeah, that's what they want to be, Amblin films on TV. So that's what it feels like. It felt like that. So
and that was the part of it I liked.
Let's go into it. Let's go into this movie then. Spoilers from now on. Wait, I think I have a spoiler. Do I have a spoiler thing here? Spoiler. I used to have a spoiler thing, like an overlay.
So Brent,
but
the first third of the movie feels like a pretty great setup, right?
Yes, I loved the first act of the movie. I love the direction they were going with it. New characters, breathing new life into the franchise, starting over with this whole new storyline. And I liked the way it was going. And also I liked the characters. Like McKenna Grace.
She's phenomenal.
Fucking phenomenal. Finn Wolfhard, I felt, was a little underutilized in the movie.
I like that he was underutilized because they pushed him so much in the trailers that I didn't want him to be the main one. I like that he was sort of like a sidekick to his sister.
To me, like the only purpose he served in the movie was we need a character that can fix the car, give her a brother, and then we need a fourth Ghostbuster at the end, so give him a love interest. And that was the extent
Wait,
of those two characters.
You're talking about his girlfriend. I was
The
like,
girl he meets in the
Yes.
first act. That
sorry,
he likes, that he
sorry.
just-
I thought you were talking about podcasts. I was like,
That-
no, not podcast.
No, podcast I liked.
Remember podcast?
I did enjoy podcasts. I think he was a little too on the nose cliche character.
Have you met
But I thought he
podcasters
performed
before?
it really well. No, I just mean like I think that it was just too on the nose cliche. It's like we need to have like a nerd friend for her. Like, what do we do? Make him have a podcast.
Well,
because
but
that's
he
what
was
nerds
also
do,
like
but-
they all fill an archetype too,
Yeah.
right? Where like she's little Egon, podcast
Yeah.
is little. I
Ray.
can't remember Dan.
He's Ray.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
100% he's right.
So, but then we don't have. I think the thing we're kind of missing though is that we don't have a
Venkman?
replacement. Yeah, because like I guess Finn Wolfhard's supposed to be
No,
the Venkman, but he's
there's
not.
no way.
Suave.
He's not. Yeah,
Well,
but he's
you know,
not.
he's
it's
not.
just-
He's not sarcastic. He's not suave.
Yeah.
He's an awkward teenager, which he plays on Stranger Things.
Makes sense that we shouldn't have a Venkman at like 16, 17 years old either.
Which was what I thought Paul Rudd's character, and like that's one thing I'll say that I enjoyed going into this movie was I had no idea, based on the trailers or anything, what they were doing with his character, how his character was going to be utilized. Is he just going to be one of the hapless adults that's like helping these kids along, or is he going to be like he's going to team up with them and don the suit at the end kind of thing and be the new Peter Venkman?
I like that
And
he was the only one who kind of like knew what anything
that's
was
what
going on. He's like, you guys don't remember this big thing that happened in like fucking the 70s or whatever, in the
80s.
80s in New York?
Yeah, I
love
thought that.
I love the rapport between him and Phoebe in it too.
Yeah.
Like I thought like the two of them really worked off each other well.
I fully expected him to be like a Ghostbusters fanboy, who would have been the one to introduce him to the whole world. Like this is what Proton Pack does. This blah blah blah. But
Yeah.
even better than that, they used Egon's ghost and a ghost light to, teach her how to use stuff.
Word.
You didn't like that part? You didn't like the him
No,
moving the ghost, the lights?
I thought that was a good utilization of Egon's
Theater?
Character.
to have. I really did. That was another thing that I liked about it. Like I said, everything up through the first half an hour, maybe even 40 minutes of the movie, I really liked. It
where
wasn't
did it
until
turn for you?
as soon as all of the member, as soon as that started, and then especially once they introduced who the big bad of the movie was, I was like, are you fucking kidding? We're just doing the first movie again. And then from that point forward, everything played out exactly the way the first movie went. It was as soon as they introduced that Gozer was going to be the villain, immediately I was like, now I know why Paul Rudd is in the movie.
But this time the Death Star's bigger this time though.
But is it
we're here so
for
bad.
some odd reason, the Emperor has returned.
Somehow the Palpatine
I have to agree. That's
just-
the part that disappointed me the most about this film is that they went back to an old ghost. Like, it makes sense, but
it's not just that they went back to an old villain. Like, I would accept that, but they just followed the rest of the first movie storyline beat for beat at that point forward. It just became, it just became a completely different movie. He had a great movie that he was working on, and then he threw it all the way for, I guess, the studio pushing for nostalgia, the studio pushing for.
I don't know if it was the studio.
Pull it into what the first movie. I don't know. Became too much of a.
If you want to argue, it could be like just to, it's not devil's advocate, but to, give Jason Reitman the benefit of the doubt. It could be that he went to the script and went, well, let's just do this because like it'll work. Mm-hmm. Or he went, frig, this is where the story goes. Like you're writing the screenplay and you're like, unfortunately that's how it works out. Like when you're writing the screenplay, I need a beginning, middle, end. I need to hit these beats. Yeah. That's where it went.
I feel like not only that is that he has to also play off of the 2016 film, right? Because they tried to do the first film as well, but their version of it, without going into Gozer and all of that, they tried to sort of remix it, and it went really badly and went really vocally badly because of all the people that hated the female Ghostbusters already. But just to add on top of the fact that it was a bad movie, unfortunately,
It was a bad movie, but what I will give that movie credit for, that I will give over this movie, is that they at least tried something different in that movie. Yeah. This movie didn't. This movie started with something different, and then partway through went, oh shit, we got to make it a Ghostbusters movie, and steered far too into basically making a remake.
This movie
I
was
think it should have been Vigo the Carpathian insteld of Gozer.
No, this was
I mean, it should have been someone.
No, let me talk. God damn it!
Told you I was fired up for this.
This movie was This was just like, this was legacy. Like this, they wanted to instill that in people, and the best way for them at the time to write this was, what's the thing that people will remember? People remember Ghostbusters 2 not being the greatest. They have to go back. They went back to the first one, and that's the unfortunate thing. And like, I liked the fact that there was a lot of nostalgia, but not too much like fucking Rise of Skywalker. Like, if it went to that point of everything feeling wrong, and the thing that I didn't mind.
Don't you remember the scene where Bill Murray said, "It's true, all of it"?
Yeah, the thing that made this movie not be Rise of Skywalker for me is that it didn't undo the last two films, right? It didn't undo everything before it. It felt like it could fit there. I thought it was weird that because of all the time, the dates were many, many years apart, and then it was 1984 and 2021. That seemed like a really close mixture instead of all the hundreds of years as the previous in the calendar. But you know, I wish they didn't go with the same ghost. I understand why they did it. But there's also the thing that also bothered me is that I did like this movie a lot. There were no ghosts. There was hardly any ghosts in this movie.
Yeah.
You see Muncher, and then you see the one guy at the table, and then you see the eye popping ghost that was a toy, and that was it pretty much as the ghost, which sort of sucked.
Essentially, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna make one more point on the whole reintroduction of the Gozer as the villain. But this is and this is the point that I'll make about it. This is what irritated me the most about them bringing that back, was that they introduced the new character of the guy who created the tower,
Ivo Shandor.
And he's not new. He's name dropped in the original.
In the first one, yeah.
Oh, I didn't even realize he was name dropped.
He was the architect of the building that Dana lives in the first movie.
Yeah.
So I was excited when they introduced him, and I was thinking, I'm like, this isn't going to be a Gozer story. It's going to be his story. They're bringing in a new villain.
That would be cool.
They're going to do, and I was like, and you're thinking it's going Gozer in that direction, but then all of a sudden this guy's going to take over as the big bad. And I was like, I love that. And then it turned out to be nothing more than a fucking stupid J.K. Simmons cameo.
Yeah. Well, it was. I think what they wanted to do there was to show that all of this planning was for naught, and that she was back this time. Olivia Wilde was back to knock.
Was it her?
Yeah, it was her.
Because I didn't see her name in the credits.
No, neither was J.K. Simmons.
But I was pretty damn sure it was her.
It is her. Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching it. I'm like, I mean, it's not Sigourney Weaver, so.
Yeah. She's an uncredited cameo in this because. She didn't really do much.
I don't even know if we hear her voice. I think it's all dubbed. I think
she's dubbed by what's her name from The Expanse, Sheree Agudashlu.
Sheree Agudashlu.
Yeah, which was phenomenal. I heard her voice. I was like, I know who you are immediately.
I mean, at least they got someone from, not North America or like Western Europe to do a voice of a Sumerian god. I mean, that's a nice touch for once.
Yeah, that's fair. So where in that movie, like you were saying when they started doing remember this, remember that? What part of that? Because there was a lot in it that I noticed. Which part did that start off for you?
It started with the Nestle Crunch Bar. Finding that in the pocket.
That was very early.
And then
Egon seems like way
Twinkie.
too clean of a person to leave a fucking Nestle Crunch Bar wrapper in his pocket.
And then finding the Twinkie in the glove box. It wasn't that there were so many callbacks and references to the original. It was every single one of them felt like there should have been a giant flashing neon arrow on the screen pointing at it.
Steve
and Jason Reitman's head popping into frame going, Remember this from the first one?
Remember Millennium Falcon? Remember that?
Remember these guys in the Cantina bar? Look, they're walking over here now.
It was too beating you over the head, and I mean, even to like the end where the kid comes out with the marshmallow bukkake all over him, referencing Rick Moranis from the first one, to the point that when they bust out of the statues at the end, her hand comes out exactly the same way Sigourney Weaver's hand came out. Like they literally, it was got to the point where at the end, when Winston is walking around the car by himself, I thought he's gonna scream out, "I love this city." Like he's gonna scream that out. Like they're gonna do that.
I
callback.
love this village.
And then, but he didn't, and I was like, that is the most restraint that I've seen him use as far as callbacks to the first movie, was not doing that. But it was so hit you over the head with it.
I feel like it didn't bother me that much, to be honest. I saw them and I was like, oh, that's weird. Yeah. And I saw all the toy references because I have a shit ton of those toys, which I was like, oh, cool.
I never owned any of the toys, so none of that stuff meant anything to me.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it would have been nicer if it was more subtle, if it was like fun little Easter eggs for those of us who were fans of the original to, you know, like you don't catch them all the first time. You watch the movie again and, now I noticed this, now I know, but they were just too much like...
Not trying to defend him, but I don't think Jason Reitman does subtle in films. I'm thinking of his filmography. I'm like, I don't think subtle is something he does.
No.
Like, I'm not super familiar with this.
Well, like, because when I went through it, I'm like, oh, Thank You for Smoking. That's a great movie.
Oh yeah.
That was, I think, his first like big film, and I'm like, nothing subtle about that film.
No,
right?
Yeah.
Like,
no. Well, and then there was Juno and Up in the Air. Like those are very apparent. Like everything is, yeah,
like everything's very blatant and out in the open. So I just don't think that's his style. You know, to the detriment or the benefit of whatever he's currently making, right?
Did anyone? So I want to go into like the characters, a couple of the characters, because you know this is about the characters. What did you think?
So, basically, the only thing, like, because I don't mind it, but like, basically, your biggest complaint, Brent, is just like the story, and like everything else is more or less
all right.
Okay.
No, I have other problems.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I have a lot of other problems too.
Do we just want to go over
the movie though? We're talking about the
movie. I sent Erik a text and I said this movie did something that I never thought a movie could possibly do in my life. It made me hate Paul Rudd.
Let's start with Paul Rudd. Let's go.
Okay. I loved him in this.
Paul Rudd plays Gary Gruberson.
Gary Gruberman.
Gruberson,
sorry.
Who is a like an earthquake scientist. I don't remember what they're called.
Seismologist.
Yeah, you're right.
But he's working at a high school, which it's the United States, so that makes sense.
He went there to do summer school so that he could do his experiments. That's basically the premise of his character. There's been random earthquakes. We see that really early in the film when they get there. He sort of introduces Phoebe, who's the granddaughter of Egon, to the world of Ghostbusters or something. And then sort of tags along. Go, Brent, go.
No, and here's the thing is, for the most part, I really did enjoy him and his character in the movie. The only time I didn't enjoy his character was once he becomes possessed at the end, and he essentially, all he was doing for the rest of the movie was his best Rick Moranis impression.
I think that was
that's a choice I don't like. I think I would have preferred to see him have his own take on that instead of like so blatantly doing a Rick Moranis impression.
But Carrie Coon also did her best Sigourney Weaver at that moment.
Yeah, and that's another problem I have.
Yeah.
It was too much of that. It was too much of pulling back to the original.
I wonder if Jason wanted them, like those two characters, to be the Keymaster and the Gatekeeper. Like that's how they act. I also thought it was weird that Carrie got her own dress when she turned into, like that was weird,
because it's it's not like it's not like a thing that happens in the 84 film.
She shows up in a different scene,
like a dress. Yeah. Whereas in this movie, it's like it's magic. It's like, what happened here? What, like, you now have the power to create or like some sort of transmogrify matter. What happened? Where did this come from? Just so you could have that callback. But it's not even the same dress. It's different.
Yeah, even like Paul Rudd being on the... I feel like Paul Rudd and Callie... Okay. Oh, sorry. I should say Gruberson and Callie. They sort of mix both of them because there are times when Gruberson felt like Sigourney Weaver's character. Like when she was lying on the rock and stuff like that. And
all they had to do was swap it and make him...
the sexy one,
Zool, and her the Keymaster, and then all of a sudden we would have gone, wow, this is brilliant. What a brilliant choice.
That would have been.
And instead,
really good.
they just went, let's do the same thing with different people.
That's fair. Yeah, I agree with that.
And and like just that blatant, like to the point where he even walks like him impression. Like when he was walking towards her, coming off that rock, that's all I pictured was Rick Moranis from the first movie.
It's weird too because actors usually don't want to imitate other actors,
Yeah.
especially like I assume Paul Rudd would look up to someone like Rick Moranis. As most actors probably do, but
I feel like
I think that it was 100% because Rick Moranis didn't come back to do this movie. That I don't know if it was somebody telling him to do it or if Paul himself made the choice. I want to honor Rick by.
I mean, he's an actor,
closely,
regardless. If he made the choice to do it, it's up to the director to go. No, I don't want you to do that thing. So
I feel like at this
it's
point,
on the director.
I feel like at that point, it's those characters are being those characters again.
Those
they have to act
the
like that.
Keymaster and Zool are those characters.
Yeah.
And that was another problem with the characters I had. As soon as Gozer is introduced as the villain, I instantly knew this is what Paul Rudd's character is from the movie. This is what the mother's character is from the movie.
Yeah.
There was no surprises through the rest of it. You knew exactly. The only surprise was them pulling the mother out at the end.
Yep, I was
and
surprised
switching
about that.
switching it out for the girl. I will say, like, at least they did something original there.
That was really neat. I forgot where I was gonna go because now I sort of want to go off of what Brent thinks about this movie and just sort of face that. I want to go talk about Egon because Egon's sort of that missing character in this movie, but he's present throughout the whole film. What do you think of his legacy? The fact that he got a family and then left it pretty soon afterwards, and then like his touch on each of these characters in the film.
I think it makes sense. I think it makes a lot of sense. If because Egon was the one who was like, oh shit, Doomsday's coming, right? Like he was the one who figured it out basically in both movies, was like, this is going to be a big problem and we need to contain it.
Mm-hmm.
And if he knows that, like, I mean, they dealt with Gozer in their first movie. So if he's like, if this thing comes again, how are we going to deal with it? So unfortunately, yeah, he sacrifices literally everything, including his family, so he can prevent that. I think that fits with his character. I just, I don't know if it's fun in any way. It's sad.
They did his legacy right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think jumping off of what you said, the fact that like in the first two movies, he's the one who's always talking that this is bigger than everyone understands. So it made sense for his character to be the doomsday sayer in this movie and everything.
I know a bunch of people online for some reason, I guess they haven't seen Ghostbusters 2. They were sad that Janine Melnitz was not the person that hooked up with Egon to make these kids. Thoughts?
Yeah, she hits on him a lot.
In the first movie, but not in the second one as much, because that's when she starts going
They did kind of indicate in this one that they were
friends
a little bit on the side.
Really? I didn't think it was that type of friends. We're doing the finger into the whole here.
I don't think the audio listeners needed to know that.
Yeah, they did.
Did you stay for both credit scenes?
Yeah.
I didn't watch either.
I would say in the second credit scene, it fairly well indicated that.
I don't know. That was a scene from Ghostbusters 1. I think past that point, I don't think, especially what we saw in Ghostbusters 2,
I got the vibe, and the fact that she's the one showing up at the house talking about, like, oh, I took care of his finances. Like,
I think the most surprising thing is that Egon at any point had time to have a family.
Yeah.
Based on how obsessed he was with science to begin with. Like, that's maybe the biggest plot hole to me.
I think Ray was talking about how everything had started to die down, and you got to keep up with stuff, I guess, or do other things.
Right, but they were all struggling. Like, if you watch Ghostbusters 2, they're all struggling. I don't assume that things just work out for them after Ghostbusters 2, right?
It does.
Clearly things
for
things
Winston.
didn't work out. Yeah, but things didn't work out for Egon, obviously, as we learned in this movie. But like the other ones, like Ray still has a fucking bookstore in 2021, a cult bookstore in 2021.
I mean,
what?
Niche markets are very important.
I was expecting to see a little like a Mogwai in there when they
the only way that bookstore stays in business if it's the bookstore from Ninth Seal.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the Ninth Seal?
The Ninth,
Johnny Depp?
The Ninth, yeah. That
is it. Or
That
Ninth
was
Gate?
Ninth Gate, yeah.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of the other legacy characters? We get to see Venkman, Stantz, and
I get two more things I want to say about Egon.
oh
before we move
God,
on.
no, go for it.
No, just one really quickly. Like I said, I really think that they did his legacy
right.
well, and I think they did Harold Ramis right in this.
Yeah,
like the CGI interpretations of him at the end and everything, I
they
thought
were
was a
eerily
really
good, like
very good and very very well done, very touching, not overly used. They didn't go crazy with it. It was just right. It was a nice tribute to him.
And some people were sort of annoyed that he didn't talk, but Egon wasn't really one to talk, right? So
Yeah.
I feel like in that moment it felt right.
I
Also,
sat
he's
there
a
the whole time
ghost.
going, are they going to attempt a voice with him or not?
I was glad
are they going to
didn't.
attempt to simulate? And I'm
like-
happy they didn't as well.
Yeah.
The ghosts hardly talk at all in Ghostbusters anyway, right?
Yeah.
They usually just scream. or
Usually
make
just
weird
scream and
noises.
laugh.
So
Yeah.
what I felt,
Or shh.
it did feel like it felt like cool, but at the same time it was like, is this how ghosts work in Ghostbusters now? Like they can also be helpful. They're not just like awful, because all we've ever seen in Ghostbusters, other than Slimer, who is definitely a hindrance or annoying, is they cause and they fucking kill people.
I wonder because the ooze from the second movie that they sprayed on that, I guess it wasn't ghost, it was more of a ethereal substance.
Ectoplasm?
Was that what was in the packs in the second one? I thought it was
I don't know,
something special.
I'm only halfway through rewatching it, and I haven't watched it since I was a kid.
That river of slime stuff
Yeah.
that they gathered.
They keep showing it to me whenever I go to my dental office. It seems to be the only movie they can play there.
I thought it was weird that that although this is the like a little incy weird thing, when they turn on that giant ghost trap at the end in the dirt, Egon was the only thing that didn't get pulled in. I was like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah, that was another
very
thing I wondered
convenient.
at the end. Why didn't he go into it?
Because it was all bad ghosts, and maybe
Right, he's a
although maybe I don't know, I'm gonna. This is a theory that doesn't make sense. All the ghosts that do go in it came from that temple. I don't know if that does anything. Like they was all attuned to that. It doesn't make sense.
My thing was he stepped back. He took a couple steps
They
back.
pulled ghosts from the town.
to be fair, Egon's also the one who built that trap, so maybe he was aware of not to be anywhere near it.
They pulled ghosts from the town, which was far away. Anyway, not important.
Well, suspension of disbelief. The same way that the last point I'm going to make about Egon in the movie is the fact that why are none of us talking about how he can see the future?
What?
Explain to me how when the kids suit up at the end of the movie and they go in and they take the 4 Spangler costumes out of that thing, they all fit the kids fucking perfectly, including Podcast, who's like 2'8".
Maybe they have like
He
ties
puts it on
inside.
and
Well, what happened
no-
was
there
Egon,
was no tailoring.
Egon hired a costume designer for the movie,
Yeah.
and the costume designer made sure the costumes fit the kids for the movie.
I was like, every single one of those 4 costumes fit the
I
4
didn't-
different
I
body
didn't even think of
types
that.
perfectly.
If it's one of those things where it's like somebody was like, "Are you sure by this point people are gonna like listen? If they have a problem with this part of the story." An hour and 20 minutes into the movie or whatever, if they have a problem with this, then they're gonna have a problem with the ghosts being real.
Yeah,
probably.
and that's why I'm here right now. I'm that guy.
Well,
I
we-
represent that guy.
While we're talking about issues with the movie, Brent, let's and we talked about Egon. Let's talk about the other legacy characters we see. We see Venkman, we see Stantz, we see Zedmore, we see at the end. We'll talk about Dana Barrett and Janine Melnitz, I guess, right afterwards. What do you think of their introduction at the end to come in right at the end and help out?
I mean, again, saw it coming a mile away.
Yeah, super obvious. I think it just what felt weird was that like the way Ray talks to the granddaughter, and then he's like, I guess we have to go out there, but like they just skip. It's like super convenient that he knows exactly where they are and they can get there just in time, and like it's like what?
There
How
was
did
a
that happen?
giant fucking thing over the house. I feel like they knew.
No. I'm talking about
but
did they
he
get
knew
there
it
in a
was-
day? The 3 of
I
them,
thought
what,
he
did they all
did
hop
know.
on planes?
I feel like didn't this just happen in a couple
did they-
days? I feel like they just went straight there.
She calls him the night before everything goes down, though.
Yeah,
right?
isn't that
Like,
only like 2 days there? Like
it's not even. They have like, let's say they have 24 hours to make, like the other Ghostbusters have 24 hours. So he assembled them. Did he he just knew where Egon was? I guess.
And
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not even
he did.
nitpicking this.
She. I'm pretty sure she said the town that they were in. So
Okay.
I feel like that.
I thought he just knew because he referenced, like, oh, he moved to some town in Kansas.
Yeah. You're right. He
Yeah.
did say that.
Presuming
So
he doesn't
Ray
know
did
what
reference
town
that he
then,
knew.
right?
The one with the
town in
giant ghost
Kansas?
cloud over it. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go with that. Did anyone feel out of place? They all seem right in their characters.
Besides how obvious it was that that's how they were going to appear at the end, that they really set that up for us to know. I thought that the rapport between the three of them was just threw you right back into the first movie.
When
Like they felt like the same. They felt like the same. But
Yeah.
no, I'm saying that this is in a positive way. They felt like
They
felt
were-
like seeing old friends again. They felt like the characters. There was no real having to push me into it and make me believe it.
Did it weird you out to see them in the 2016 version?
I mean, I've seen Bill Murray what he looks like now, so it doesn't weird me out to see him. And Ernie Hudson doesn't seem to age either.
No.
He ages very gracefully as well.
Yeah. My favorite part of them coming back was Winston looking at the Egon ghost while they're shooting their proton streams, and he's like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like that was a great
And then if
moment.
you watch, Bill Murray does the same thing. He kind of looks over afterwards and just kind of does like a.
I guess we've gotten to this point. I think that also, if we go back to Egon, I thought it was a very touching moment for him to help his granddaughter. I really like that. I thought that was that heart.
That gave me, as much as I hated a lot of this movie, that gave me the feels when you see the ghost hand go over hers.
How did you feel about the part where the mom was like, "Oh, he really loved us the whole time. I knew, she just hates her dad her whole life, and she's like, time to do a complete 180." Like,
Well, she saw the wall of
There was
pictures.
pictures.
right?
Yeah.
That's the same thing as spending time with your kids.
Yeah, he was stalking her from afar. I knew it
That's
was
better.
coming.
That's better, right? Not only did I not know him, but he was watching me the whole time. So he had time to watch me, but he didn't have time to talk to me.
I wonder if his mom or her mom was sending him stuff, and she knew what was up. I don't know. They don't really talk about her mom.
I think that would be a good deleted scene, just like the mom, like she, like the daughter, unless her mom isn't around anymore, but she calls her mom. She's like, "Hey, blah, blah, blah." And the mom was like, "I wanted to tell you, but your father was like worried that he didn't
She
want
would
you
go
involved
out,
in this
yeah.
because it's dangerous."
That would be a
right?
good thing.
That would have been a really good scene to help set up like why Egon, even more of like why there's this disconnect, and then why the daughter suddenly has this complete fucking 180 and not just like, "Oh, he did love me."
I feel like the mom
He still abandoned you. Like,
I feel like the mom's not there anymore because she would have been the one to go there and take possession of everything. It had to go.
not
there.
if they got divorced.
That's
right?
fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Which is insinuated that the parents are not together anymore.
We also
Then the mom's ghost shows up.
and that's the other head. No, so we also see Janine and Dana Barrett show up at sort of post credits. Janine shows up earlier. Dana Barrett shows up. Sigourney Weaver shows up with Peter Venkman, and they do the the card thing
Yes,
at the
but
beginning
they
of
do a
Ghostbusters.
scene from the first movie.
Yeah, but they reverse. She's the one shocking him. I thought it was cute. It was. Nice
I
to see
did
her.
actually think that scene was cute.
I
Just
like
for
that-
the whole fact that, like, when she just keeps shocking him until he finally admits, "Yeah, I was only shocking the guys."
Yeah, and then she's like, "What was the other one? Did you mark the cards?" Yeah, I did. I thought that was cute. There was also a second post credits. We'll go into the earlier the new team later, but the second post credit for Dave, who didn't stay and watch, showed Winston in New York City sort of reopening the firehouse and I guess
For some reason, the building still is abandoned.
yeah.
Well, they talk about in the movie how it was a Starbucks, like it got bought out and turned into a Starbucks.
Although it
But
looks
now when
abandoned.
we see it, it's completely abandoned again. But we see him opening it, and he's got Ecto 1 now, so
Yeah.
he's like pulling it into the garage.
So this is pretty much them setting up young Ghostbusters, right?
I mean, that's what I would actually
was
like
it
to
though?
see.
Yeah, I think so.
Because to me, yeah, but at the end of the movie, didn't they just take everything from the kids and bring
No.
it back to New York? They took
I
Ecto
don't-
1, they took the guns, they took everything.
I didn't mean that those kids would be the next Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Because there were plans like I was gonna say Ray. what's his name? Fuck, Dan Aykroyd, a long time ago had talked about bringing back Ghostbusters as Ghostbusters International, where they would set up teams around the world. And I think this is what they're gonna, especially since they started Ghost Corps a couple years ago, so that Ghostbusters was more of a multi.
I think this movie's called Ghost Corps internationally. Oddly enough,
what?
Like in certain markets, yeah. I think it actually has Ghost Corps at the start.
Well,
internationally.
that's the title of the production company that they do it under now, the Ghostbusters films.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what Dan Aykroyd started Ghost Corps so that he could make Ghostbuster films and then be in a connected universe. Because that's the thing. So
Which to me, to jump off that point, if that's where you think that they're heading with it, that they're gonna start with like a new team of younger Ghostbusters, then what the fuck was the point of the four new ones from this movie?
I think it was to bring us back into the world. Like that's what I think. I think this is mostly just a legacy film, like show that this is where we've come from there, and then we're gonna move forward. I can see Finn Wolfhard showing up as one of the new recruits.
I hope not. It's honestly the only one that I would really care about to see back again, like that I really would want to see back is McKenna Grace, but apparently she's announced that she's retiring
from acting.
Nice.
Yeah, she's
good choice.
She apparently she suffered an injury or something to her back, and she's retiring from acting for a few years.
Good for her. She's probably just paid off.
Like that to me is like that's a kid who's got their fucking head on their shoulders.
Yeah,
and I hope to see them come back years later.
Yeah. Well, there was a story today about a bunch of like people who got hurt just recently on films again, and you heard about what happened with Black Panther 2, right? The girl who played Shuri, her injury is way worse than what they thought, and they just closed production right now.
That sucks.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so they're waiting till she's much better to start back up. Like that's
did Alec Baldwin shoot her?
I can't remember what studio, but they just announced that they're like they'll never have whatever studio is a big studio, maybe Disney. They're like, we're never putting a live gun on set.
So that the first person to say that to have said that was Dwayne Johnson. His production company and any film moving forward that he's involved with will not use a live gun on set.
The Nathan Fillion show, The Rookie, they said the same thing. They're no longer going to use real guns. They're going to use toy guns and do CGI.
Like John Wick hasn't been using real guns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are all fake. Yeah.
Like it's all done in post. Like there's a whole bunch of corridor videos about how their fucking muzzle flashes aren't big enough.
But also like
they're not real.
But also like Keanu Reeves actually, because he's so well trained, he actually checks every chamber as well when he uses it, which is crazy. That well, he's.
I mean, it's one of those things. We don't have to get into it, but like that's not his job, technically speaking. Yeah.
But he's just adding that extra level of safety for him.
But he's also been working with guns since, what was he, like 20 in speed, right? Like
Yeah, agreed. The other two people that have talked about injuries on set were the people on the Uncharted film and The Witcher. So it's been a big topic about injuries on set and how safe people really should be.
One of the guys left The Witcher. They had to recast him, right? Because he got injured.
Yeah,
early in production.
Yeah.
Not Vesemir, one of the other Witchers.
One of his hamstrings was permanently injured, so he had it ended his action career. Like he can't do action film.
That is why you have insurance.
And I read or I heard a story recently too that there was another person who was almost killed on the set of Rust as they were when they were striking all the sets.
Jesus.
Someone got it wasn't like an injury from anything. It was like they got apparently bit by a spider that was local to where they were filming, and it almost killed them.
God. Cursed production. That movie's never coming out.
No.
Yeah. It just won't be done. It'll never come out. Not that any of us
see it. From my understanding, they shut production down.
Yeah, I think they're shelving that. Which makes sense. Janine, she was fine in the movie. Dana Barrett, for what we saw, fine. Let's talk about the new people. We have Trevor, played by Finn Wolfhard, Phoebe, McKenna Grace, Podcast, played by Logan Kim, and Lucky, I did not really realize that's her name, played by Celeste O'Connor. I totally forgot her name.
If we don't have Phoebe, I think we don't need the rest of the characters for any subsequent films, because none of them, like, they're good.
I would love Podcast to show up. I like Podcast a lot. I think I like
Podcast, but I don't think Podcast could carry the group without Phoebe.
You're not going to watch a Dan Aykroyd movie except for Coneheads, right?
Like I could see Phoebe and I could see Podcast returning, and I think the other two, I don't really care. They're interchangeable to me, give or take.
if she doesn't,
I feel like we didn't know anything. We didn't really learn anything about the girl other than she's the sheriff's daughter and she's snarky, as was everybody in this movie because
She
it's a
also
Jason
works at
Bourne
a
movie.
diner, though.
remember diners? I don't see anywhere that McKenna Grace has retired.
It's,
Online.
I just heard it a couple days ago. They were talking something about how she wasn't going to make any movies for a little while because of an injury.
But that
And I
doesn't-
think she wanted to focus on
I feel like
school.
Ghostbusters, the next Ghostbusters, if this movie makes bank, and it looks like it is making bank, will be a couple years away. So maybe she'll show up.
I mean, I think I would prefer them to just do something. What I would like to see is them focus on Winston, because he didn't get his due in the first movie, and then they didn't fix that in the second movie,
No.
right?
And
because they
yeah.
cut like a whole part of the script that was his storyline, because he just shows up sort of at not quite in order, just like takes a job, and he's never had like he's like just like well he's it's like well he's the Black Ghostbuster. No, he's supposed to be a lot more than that. We just never get it. And I would like to see him lead his group of Ghostbusters, and then we can also tell his story.
I feel like
As, like,
he's.
flashbacks
I feel
would
like
be
he's
cool.
going to be the head of Ghostbusters International. Like he'll be the Charles Xavier to everyone. Like that would be
I mean, Ernie
amazing.
Hudson's a good fucking actor.
He's amazing. Did you know that he has not watched The Crow since the initial since he had to watch it when he was at the first
I mean,
the
I
first
can
screening.
believe that. I can
Would
believe
you
that.
wanna
would hurt
watch-
when-
yeah.
Yeah.
Would you want to watch your friend die?
No,
yeah.
no, I know it's terrible, but yeah, he was talking about it.
I
bec-
also never knew until recently that it was Michael Massey was the one who fired the shot that killed him.
I did not
I
know
did
that
not know
either.
that.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
that's why
I-
That's why he didn't act for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
that's.
I thought the shot was during the whole like boardroom sequence where he's fighting like the 30 guys all at once, but no, it was Fun Boy killed him, and I'm like, oh shit! Like, could you imagine living with that?
That's terrible.
Yeah, I think after that, the first thing I saw him do after The Crow was he was in season 1 of 24. He played one of the main villains in that.
Yeah, so like a couple years later, that's rough.
It was about 10 years after.
Well, 24 was in 2001. The Crow was in 94.
Yeah, but he might have.
Oh, right. 78, yeah.
The thing is, he might have been working on other stuff subsequently.
That came out
right?
in. Yeah, that's fair.
Right.
Yeah. So, is there anything else we need to really touch upon on this? Like, I like the movie a lot. I can gloss over a lot of that nostalgia or like the interface nostalgia because it didn't bother me as much.
I'd say much like The Force Awakens, it is a fun movie.
That's a
That-
good.
That is a very apt comparison.
That
Yeah.
basically does what a previous movie did, but I don't. I feel like The Force Awakens was a little more. Remember Han Solo?
Yeah.
Remember? Because this movie wasn't like remember characters. The characters just are literally in the movie and do stuff. Right.
See, and it was sort of like, remember Gozer here, but it's playing off that storyline. They're not just like, we made a better Death Star. Huh?
Yeah.
It's bigger.
I mean, in the same way in both movies, the threat's the same. Whereas
Yeah.
in Star Wars, it's like, listen, the Empire can just blow up fucking planets. Now we can blow up more planets. Okay, whatever. This is like Gozer just ends the world if Gozer does
Comes
what they
back,
want. So
yeah.
like we gotta shut it down before it gets
Now-
to that point.
Now you keep saying they're like it's the bigger, better, like badder. They're Gozer 2.0.
I don't think it's
version.
bigger, better.
No,
Is
no,
it?
no.
I don't think
I
it
was
is.
that
I think it's the
that
I don't think
seemed
it
to be
was. I
like
think it's the
that's
same.
what I was gleaming from what you were saying because like
so maybe
I
it's more like
understand-
Return of the Jedi, where it's another Death Star. You just made another Death Star.
Because I mean, in the original, like it's on top of that building. It's a fantastic scene. You've got the entire skyline of New York. She summons in the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and in this one, it's like they're fighting. They bring in that big pyramid, but then they're just standing on the bottom couple steps of it,
I think that the thing is,
and she doesn't notice that this kid is wheeling a remote control car under
Yeah.
her.
Did it
And
feel
then
weird?
it takes place on a farm.
Did it seem weird that this movie, since it was rehashing that, didn't go? You get to choose the form of your destroyer.
Yeah. Maybe,
Right?
Well, maybe it's because this time he said yes when she asked the question.
Yeah.
Or they asked the question.
Oh, yeah, Ray. If
Because
you
this
are
time,
asked,
yeah.
if you were a god, you
I
should-
did-
their three
I
looks
did
at him
like
were
how
really
he
funny.
still didn't want to do it, and they were like, Ray?
yes, we're all gods. I like the idea that the first movie they pushed Gozer back into the temple. That's why she was able to come back. And then this one they had to trap her. Like I like that Egon thought of a way.
Yeah, they didn't trap Gozer. They didn't trap Gozer the first time.
No, they
right?
pushed her back.
No,
but Gozer's a god, not a ghost. So
I don't know
Gozer
how that works.
Returned?
But they also pulled her apart too.
At the end of the day, Gozer is like an entity.
Yeah.
So.
A spirit.
Yeah, and she was sort of like her strength was based on the amount of ghosts, right, that were around. That's why New York was filled with ghosts.
I'll be happier with this movie retroactively if they don't do what Star Wars did after The Force Awakens. Because The Force Awakens gave us a lot of promise, and I think this movie does give us a lot, because they show we can make a modern Ghostbusters movie that will appeal to people. It's not like it's a bad or terrible movie. All of our disagreements are like, well, you're not doing anything new, which is most reboots. So it's like, okay, now that you've brought it back, go do something new, but make sure it's good. Don't just change it for the sake of changing it, right?
Yeah.
Like you can do something with this now.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I will also give props to whoever did the score for this movie, because Rob Simonson. Nope, that's not right. Was that right? Rob Simonson? Whoever did the music for this, Pitch Perfect, felt right. Like it felt like the old music without just lifting the entire score. They lifted parts and motifs, but not the entire score, which I liked.
And that it was fun. Like they got little nods to the music throughout it, which was nice.
Yeah.
Did you see it with D-Box?
Yeah, it was not worth it. The D-Box.
Okay, for the most part, it was not. But what I will say that was worth the price for the D-Box was the first time she fires up the proton pack.
Oh, yeah.
And you felt the vibrations going up your back.
Yeah,
and I was like,
I will say that Dune has ruined D-Box for me, because that movie was perfect with D-Box. Perfect. The first ever movie I saw with D-Box was Ghostbusters 2016. And it made that movie very fun, because me and Megan were laughing the whole time because the D-Box did not sync up properly with the movie at all. Like they were doing camera motions on screen, and the chair would be like doing the opposite motion. We're like, why are we going this way? What is doing? Why is this happening? It was
this
so
one
funny.
I felt like they just found weird times to use it. Like there was a lot of times where I feel like during the car chases and that where they're using it, where I felt they could have utilized it more.
Yeah,
but then all of a sudden you're just sitting there and someone starts walking and your chair's like, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was weird. And then sometimes it was just entirely like not being used. I was like, okay, that's weird. That's a weird moment to not use that.
And every time someone slid down the pole, your chair leaned back, and I'm like, what?
That's not how poles work.
I thought it was gonna move forward, to be honest. I'm gonna end this off with wait, any final thoughts before we move forward?
I've expressed everything.
I think Dave was really apt with that with that Force Awakens comparison. I think that's really good. Although, to be fair, when I saw Force Awakens, I wasn't as happy as I was after watching this movie.
I would also say The Force Awakens did do some cool shit.
Yeah.
Right? That wasn't in Star Wars before, right? Like, it did do, like, when Finn used the lightsaber, like, whoa, a non-Jedi. Oh, cool.
And that's what they were going to go with that. And then
this movie didn't really do that. It was like, granddaughter of Ghostbuster, also Ghostbuster.
Although they did do RC trap, and they did the pop-out shooting thing
but I'm pretty sure that was a toy, though. I'm pretty sure my cousin had that RC car that you hit a button and it just went beep, and that was it. It was just an RC car that also opened.
Don't recall that. But we didn't see it on screen.
I know. I was like 5, so
I put lightsabers on stormtroopers when I was a kid, because I remember seeing the Ralph McQuarrie art for it. Anyway, it's not important. Let's end this off with a hot take. And I want your opinion on this. So at the end of Ghostbusters 2016, the Answer the Call, in the post-credit scene, we see, oh God, I don't remember any of their names. Not Kristen Wiig, Kate McKinnon, whoever she was. Jillian Holtzman. She's listening to some ethereal technology and listening to things, and she says, what's Gozer? And you're like, oh, cool. So I guess they're going to do that for the next storyline if this movie does well. And there has been talks about, because this is in an alternate universe, the Answer the Call cast, would you want them to show up in any of these future Ghostbusters movies? Not at all?
I don't. Nope. Only if they want to do it.
I think we've officially as a people, washed our hands clean of that movie at this point. I think nobody is clamoring to see those characters again. Nobody's clamoring to see that universe again. I think we're now, especially now that we've gone back to the original universe and reintroduced the original characters, we're done. We don't need to see them again.
Yeah, move on.
You know what? I wouldn't mind seeing them. I don't care.
After what they did to Luke Skywalker in
That's fair.
the last 2 Star Wars films, just let those people let Bill Murray rest.
I wouldn't mind seeing Kate McKinnon show up, randomly go through a portal and be in their universe for like a final of a trilogy. Like, I think that would
If
be.
you're gonna have any of them, bring in Leslie Jones.
Leslie Jones.
Leslie Jones makes everything.
I mean, I can't really comment. I didn't watch that movie.
It was not good. I wanted it to be good too, which made me sad.
If it was good, I would have watched it. But everyone said it was bad. So
Leslie
It
Jones.
was okay.
Twitter,
So
if
have you watched Bridesmaids?
yeah, it's all right.
Okay, now picture 4 of them wearing proton packs.
I
That's the
wouldn't
movie.
say
Well,
that.
that would have been a good movie, though.
Yeah, that would have been much better.
Because Bridesmaids was a good comedy.
I will say that Chris Hemsworth, hilarious in this movie.
Yes, he was fantastic.
I did watch Men in Black International.
That was terrible.
Yeah, it's not great.
No, not good. Anyways,
Yeah, skip that one.
excited for more Ghostbusters, Dave? Yes or no?
Yeah. Yeah, if it's Ernie Hudson led, absolutely. Yes.
Brent.
I'm excited to see where they can go next now that we clearly can't go back anymore. We've gone back enough. Let's move forward.
I look forward to the Carpathian showing up in the next movie.
Yes.
Make Oscar the next, reintroduce Oscar as the next lead Ghostbuster.
You know what I would love to see? I would love to
He's
see
that
from the
age
cartoon.
now.
That's from the cartoon, right?
Oscar was Sigourney Weaver's kid from Ghostbusters 2.
Well, he'd be
Reintroduce him
my
and-
age, basically.
Yeah.
Damn, that would be cool.
That's
I could be the next Ghostbuster, guys.
That's honestly where
you need to see the fight ghosts.
have, and I will allow this to have Paul Rudd move to New York and lead the next team. I am perfectly fine with Gary Gruberson or whatever, Gruberson. I would be perfectly happy with him leading the next team as long as he leaves the Rick Moranis.
I'm going to look right down camera 1, Sony. Me, Paul Rudd, Ernie Hudson, and who's
Galifianakis.
Who's the woman from Free Guy? I can't remember her name. Jodie Comer.
Jodie Comer.
Yeah.
And her. 4 of us busting ghosts. Let's do it.
I'd like to see a lady Ghostbuster. I would like to see her as a lady Ghostbuster.
If they make another Ghostbuster, there's going to be at least one lady Ghostbuster.
Does anyone remember what the proposed cast was when they originally were going to do the younger one? Because I know Paul Rudd was actually, he was considered. Emma Stone was going to be the female.
She'd be great. Emma Stone's great.
Who were the other two? Because they did have it actually cast, the dream cast that they had put feelers out to come back.
Oh, who was it?
I can't remember who the other two were.
I like how we were supposed to end the podcast with that, but we didn't. Hannibal Buress? Jason Segel? Is this from? Yeah. Oh, this is from Men's Health.
Oh,
Paul Rudd, Finn Wolfhard. Wait, this is just the cast of the current movie.
That's the cast of the current movie.
This is the people they wanted: Jason Segel, Hannibal Buress, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Randall Park, John Mulaney, Nick Kroll.
Randall Park, yes. Please.
Randall Park would be amazing.
Randall Park would be good. I'll give you John Mulaney. I would be happy. I love John Mulaney in anything.
So apparently she passed on the 2016 one. So
Who did?
Emma Stone. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. She was like, I don't want to be another, because she had just finished Spider-Man. She's like, I don't want to be another franchise.
Yeah.
So
fair enough.
That's fair.
It's not like it hurt her career to not do a Ghostbusters movie. She's doing great.
Yeah, she is. Anyway,
yeah. I'm gonna go do Aloha instead.
What? You had to bring it there. Thank you guys for talking about Ghostbusters. Thank you, Brent, for ranting about Ghostbusters. I think next week, do you guys want to do the Game Awards, or I guess we're gonna do the top 3. We'll do either top 3, or we're gonna do our table read next week in 2 weeks.
I'll do either.
I didn't do top 3.
I haven't played most of those games.
Yeah, we'll figure it. We'll be here. What else are we gonna do? on Mondays.
I would be okay with just doing like if we did a stream during it, but to do a podcast afterwards, I don't think there's much point to that. I'd rather just
People like to know our opinion. We have
Well,
dozens
we
of
can-
fans.
and we can discuss our opinion on the winners in the news at the opening. But I mean, to do an entire podcast, I think it's better for us to do our top
Dozens!
threes.
Keep in mind that there will be premieres during the Game Awards. There
That's
will
fair.
be trailers during the Game Awards, and
Yeah.
I would love to live react to all those things.
Yeah, I'm down for a live reaction to it.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll contact them, see if we can get media
And
passes
if you don't want to, Brett and I will just shout at each other.
on the internet.
We're good at
on
that.
the internet.
What I want
Yeah.
to do is actually project the actual awards.
You can, Eric, I think you can do that anyway. But
No, you need you don't
because
to-
people do that.
Yeah, no,
though.
but I don't want a
Okay.
DMCA strike. I just played the Radiohead game the other day. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get one soon. Anyways, thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for listening. We'll talk to you guys soon. And you know what I'm talking about. Goodbye. Well, that's it for us this week on Geeks with Kids. If you want to get a hold of us, you can send us an email at podcast@geekswithkids.ca. And don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/geekswithkids. Follow us on Twitter at geekswithkidscn. Check out our pics on Instagram at geekswithkids. And you can find all of this good stuff on our website at www.geekswithkids.ca. So if you like what you hear, why don't you hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. This podcast can be found on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, YouTube, and your favorite podcasting app. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.